Why is YouTube recommending me reviews with thumbnails that have Rotten Tomato scores? Does that even mean anything? Goofy Movie had a rotten rating, come on. All things considered, Catwoman did not deserve a Razzie in my opinion. But it's great that Halle Berry was a good sport about it. With that being said, her movie was just not good, but it was still entertaining with how fun and absolutely confusing it was. I could go into more detail, but that's a review for another day. Just kidding, I'm not going to review it because I don't care. Just for now, I'm going to talk about bad superhero movies and what they all have in common, because if you watched any of them, or at least watched many of the reviews of them, you'll notice that they have similar problems and similar traits. You know, films like Steel, Daredevil, Green Lantern, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, Fantastic, that Hellboy reboot, Green Hornet, and Venom. What do they all have in common? Except for all of them not being very good, except for Venom, which I personally like. They're all just lower than mindless entertainment. I guess you could count DC movies too that are not Aquaman, Shazam, and Joker. And I guess Birds of Prey, I don't fucking know. What do I mean? I mean, they're all focused on being mindless fun you watch on a weekend, which is fine. If the goal was to be entertaining, then I consider that a win for both you and me, and the movie makers. Now, the problem lies in how they want to be entertaining at the cost of everything else. Respect for the comic book source material? Respect for the audience? Pff, fuck that. Let's just throw a whole bunch of nonsense that has nothing to do with the comics and be generic as fuck. You know? Absolutely hollow. The only thing that matters in these mindless films is to just be really entertaining and not make any sense at all and just be very mockable and riffable. If you thought Final Destination made no sense, Peter's dad in Amazing Spider-Man 2 literally uploads a file on the internet in a crashing plane! Like, what the fuck? I can't stop swearing, help me! Also, they're competing against other and better movies like Raimi's Spider-Man and, as of late, Marvel's Cinematic Universe. That's so weird. The Amazing Spider-Man films were competing against Marvel even though Spider-Man is Marvel. Catwoman was just a mindless, confusing, mismanaged style over substance movie that gave me whiplash from all the quick cuts and did all sorts of confusing things that you see, that literally gave me brain damage. This entire film felt like a cat made it. Maybe that was on purpose, because the entire film really wants to focus on cat superpowers and stuff like that when Catwoman had no superpowers at all. The only exception, I think, to this old superhero curse is, I think personally, is Venom. Yeah, that movie was poorly reviewed, but I think most of it is bitterness that Sony wants to keep Spider-Man so badly. Really, this movie does a lot more right. It tells you everything you need to know about the situations in the film, it has genuine development where characters grow, and the style is consistent. Though, it would be more consistent if it had that original R-rated cut, but whatever, the film's not as bad as critics make it out to be. Then again, that's every film ever. I swear, every time I watch a movie that a critic reviews, they either cut a lot of shit out and leave everything out of context to make the film look even dumber than it already is. I mean, I remember when Nostalgia Critic reviewed that Thomas movie. I loved that movie as a kid, but when he reviewed it, there was a lot of shit he left out, and I don't know why. Heck, even in Cosmonaut Variety Hour's review of Catwoman, he left some shit out, and why? Marcus, I like it, your reviews are funny, but come on, like, really show off the true bad of the movie to really nail it down on how bad it is, you know? My point is that old superhero movies for some reason have a consistent theme of problems. Not sure what makes those problems relevant. Maybe it's rushed development, lack of a consistent and unique vision. It could depend on each production, but I think most consistent thing I've seen is competition. Every superhero movie wanted to be like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Every superhero movie wanted to be like The Dark Knight. And now, every superhero movie wants to be like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Why? Big rich white dudes who make all the decisions shun out unique ideas in fears of them not selling. It's not even a bad thing that execs make the decisions. Each company has different standards. Therefore, there's a chance of something unique happening. I mean, who expected Spider-Verse to be made after the Emoji Movie? But I digress. My point is, while Catwoman failed to be a good movie that struck chords with people and it failed to be a success, Venom, however, thrived. Why? Well, you see, while it does have the issue of being too goofy and trying too hard to distance itself from Spider-Man, it still somehow managed to tell an engaging story that does not insult our intelligence. It told us what was needed, and it did so in such a straightforward manner. Also, another reason why it was successful, people just relate to Eddie Brock and they love monsters. And the whole concept of getting revenge on people who wronged you with a badass scary monster is just so appealing. And they took every chance, whatever they had with the characters, both in action and even character development. I had to emphasize how character development is super important in movies. Yeah, that's why I talk like that. While I would have loved to see an R-rated Venom, what we got was still really fun and edgy, and hey, maybe the sequel will be R-rated. Venom just works as a mindless blockbuster that still had some mind put to it, better than Catwoman, better than Daredevil, and nowhere near as bad as Double Toaster would lead you to believe.
This shit ain't gonna go nowhere. It ain't gonna be no Spider-Verse like you thought it was. You could've worked with Marvel, but you fucked it up, and now ain't nobody happy.
I'm happy. Hey, feel free to disagree with me all you want. I mean, I'm used to it. It's certainly a better Venom than Spider-Man 3's Venom. So, if you want to make a good movie and tell a good story, try to balance out a good story with entertainment that has some believability, and you got a good fun film that will achieve some margin of success like Venom did. By the way, I should say that I think the Marvel movies are great. I'm not just some hipster that thinks he's cool because he only likes Raimi Spider-Man. I like good movies when I see them, alright? Take care, and stay salty, everybody. Excelsior!